If you followed my work for a long time, you're obviously familiar with the fact that I cast StarCraft. But one of the things you probably didn't know about me is that I grew up also playing fighting games. My brother and me used to go to the mall almost every day with whatever quarters we had, hang out in the arcade, watch other players play, and eventually when we felt like our head was in the game, we would go and play Soul Calibur or Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Those are the two games I played as a kid. And I've always had a big love for fighting games. I'm really excited for Street Fighter 6 when that comes out. I did play a bunch of Guilty Gear on its release. And I do think there's actually a big overlap in the fans of RTS and the fans of fighting games, basically because these are the big 1v1 games that are out there. One thing that I've noticed when you look at these two different genres is that in order to practice at a fighting game, you don't just grind against humans all day. Not if you want to get really good. You basically have to spend hours and hours and hours practicing combos and preparing that. When I played Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I used to play Sentinel, and I remember constantly practicing this combo, in this air combo where I get them up against the wall, beat them down, and stomp on them and finish them off. And the funny thing, when you compare how fighting game players practice to how RTS game players practice, is that there is just no training mode at all when it comes to games like StarCraft or Warcraft 3. In fact, it's one of the big problems with RTS in general, is although it's really exciting to try to do all these cool strategies and try all these things you might watch pros do from tournaments that you followed, the reality is that you're not going to get to that opportunity to do the cool thing if you can't go through all these other motions to get to that point in time. What I'm proposing here for Stormgate is that they get some kind of a training mode. You'd probably need a whole bunch of different ones. One's for just base management, one's for microing units. But I hope that we can have some kind of mode or many modes that are going to allow players to practice the specific parts of the game without having to try to work their way through, game after game after game to get there. And I think if we can get a training mode in a game like Stormgate, and we can get to the point where people are able to simulate what happens in a game before they go up against real opponents, you're going to have a bigger RTS player base. One of the big issues with RTS is that too many people find it either too stressful or too emotional to play. It's a one-on-one game. It's super intense. Games can go for a half hour or more, and a lot of times it's just a little bit too much for people. So I'm really hoping we get some kind of training mode to kind of get new players in, and I think that would help that out a lot. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think a training mode is a good idea? If so, how exactly would you implement it, and what would you want to see in it? And what do you struggle with as a new player? Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we are selling cool shirts at tastelessthreads.com. This is a fighting game-related shirt. We've got option select here. A lot of other cool designs on there as well. I hope you check that out, and I'll see you in our next video.